Well, hello internets, here we are. We have ourselves a little bit of a video for the day in progress. With the recent drying rack project now complete, I do have some returns in the works to return to, as well as taking back some items to a place that I no longer want to shop at and might as well return to. There's no point in keeping them. So we will see you from the road. first stop was the old McDonald's. Got to give us a bit of fuel for us. Picked up some coffee and started our day. The next stop was the Canadian Tire. I returned a T-square there. Boy, I will say that the new generation of T-squares are sure flimsy. They're flimsy, they're pliable, they're nowhere near what the T-squares were from 5-6 years ago when I last bought one. So I returned that one to Canadian Tire just basically because there's no point in keeping something like it's like trying to wrestle a wet noodle. Then the next stop was the dollar store. I really should stay away from the dollar store. When I go there, the prices are cheap and I end up buying junk food with other things too that are cheap too, that are kind of single-use things that you don't expect to last. But I've been a lot better than I once was, but at the same time I usually come out with a bag of chips or two, and I've tried to cut down on some of the beverages that I would buy there, but at the same time those happen as well. Then I went over to the big box orange store to return an item, and they denied my return because it was 1 day past their specified return time. And I know, okay, 1 day passed, whatever, fine. And I know, I wasn't asking for cash back. They could have gave me an in-store credit, which would have been spent there that day on what I'm probably going to buy for the next project. But at the same time, they refused it, which, okay, fine. It's not a big deal. I can tuck this item away and use it in the future, but it just goes to show the kind of environment that is going on there. There was a time where they would have just returned this item that's still in the full retail packaging, still is well able to be resold to the next customer, and everybody's happy and away you go. But they denied my return. I know I was 1 day over, but at the same time I've had some rough days where I couldn't get out of the apartment and I lost some time, but it is what it is. Then I went over to the big box blue store and picked up some supplies for the finishing my drying rack. Needed some final touches. I got it all finished and on its wheels and good to go. Then on the way out I stopped by the Princess Auto, returned some clamps that I bought there. I lost my clamps when I sold everything in the big yard sale. And the clamps I bought are okay, but they're just insanely heavy and they're not really value for the kind of work that I see myself doing here in this apartment. Plus for $68, there's no point in keeping them. That $68 can go far in other things rather than wasting it on something that's just going to hang on a hook until the next project you do. Well, on the way out I stopped by the post office box to pick up a package, trace a lost package, and see how things are going. And I know we're getting close to Christmas and all, but at the same time, man, people are crazy. You got people parking where they shouldn't park. You got people trying to back in, squeeze their vehicle in where it shouldn't go. People are cranky and in a hurry, and the Canada Post staff are stressed. But so far, this season, I haven't had a cranky one yet, which is actually surprising considered last year it seemed that they all were cranky. And on the way to the next stop was Tim Hortons, and on the way to Tim Hortons I ran into a fire truck. Not physically ran into one, but seen one. And the fire truck came up in my mirror. I pulled over to the right along with all the other cars. However, there was one vehicle in the left-hand lane that was totally obtuse. I don't know if they had their tunes cranked and they couldn't hear the sirens, or if they were never taught about to getting out of the way of fire trucks. The fire truck pulled up behind the vehicle. I thought it was going to give it a push, and finally the vehicle pulled way over, and the truck went around. Well, you know, those precious minutes could mean the difference between getting there on time for whatever it is and not getting there on time. With the modern vehicles the way they are, they claim these modern vehicles are a lot more soundproof than what they once were. So that could be some of the problem with people not hearing the sirens of the ambulances and stuff coming up behind them. It was so good to be home after that running around. You know, people were cranky. It was a holiday season. Things were busy. Coming back home, having a nice successful day, no real big issues. It was a good day, a good outing, and around we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the road footage, and as always, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.